How you guys doing? This is another episode of Sessions. So we're gonna get into art. We're gonna listen. I don't know where this conversation is gonna go, y'all. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. But I'm here with Amir Browder, Home DC. This man owns 3 galleries. He works with so many artists. We're gonna get into everything. But I had to give him the proper introduction. Amir, how you doing, man?
Doing good, man. That was a wonderful introduction,
Yes,
man. I
sir.
appreciate that, man.
Home DC, man.
Yes, sir, man.
So, Amir, I'm an artist. I'm off the street. I've never done a gallery show before. I think my work is like the truth. I've been painting my house for like 7 years. And I'm like, I want to show the Home DC. What's the proper way to approach a gallery like Home DC to try to show?
Well, there's a formal and there's an informal way. I would say the informal way would be to DM me on the HOMME_DC Instagram, and just to make a introduction. And you could say, hi, my name is Tony. I've heard a lot about the gallery, and I would love for you to check my work out, and just send me the link to your Instagram page or to your website. And then from there on, I would respond back, thank you, whatever. And then I would give a follow-up DM, and that follow-up DM would say, hey, I would love to speak with you over the phone. When are you available so we could set up a phone conversation? We have that phone conversation, and if we are aligned in a sense where we're able to get some good energy and synergy with one another, and both of what we're doing makes sense, then I say, hey, can you send me some more of your work, or what you'd be interested in showing at the gallery?
So you feel out the vibes first.
Yeah, I feel it out. I feel the vibes. I go to your Instagram. I see what you got going on. I go to your website if you have one. You don't necessarily have to have a website, but the Instagram would do just fine. But then I would like to see some more of your work. You could send me some individual pics of your work via email.
When you go to my website, what do you look on my website as an artist that I'm trying to get into the gallery? What do you look for on the website, and what do you look at on the website and go, man, nah, I don't know about this person?
First of all, just to have the website is a pretty big deal. Just pictures that are clear, with basic things as far as your pricing, your size, materials used. If you have that artist statement, that artist bio, where have you shown? And the where have you shown is not really a big deal for me, because again, I'm not the person who is pretty much want to be recycling artists all the time. My area is where I would say providing a platform, and I don't want to say discovering, because I'm not finding anybody; they're already there. But I'm providing a platform.
You're being modest. You're being very modest.
But they were already there. I didn't discover them.
I never heard of a bunch of artists at Home DC. I never heard of them before, and I'm like, that's the first show. I'm like, yo, this person is dope.
It's another word. It's like.
I know you're not gonna say discover. I'm gonna say my first time seeing an artist a lot of times is at Home DC.
Right.
So
right.
Yeah, we'll leave that open.
Yeah. So you don't have to have. It's been plenty of places. It's been plenty of artists that have never shown a day in their life, and at any place. And I've shown them, which is
why.
Why have I shown them?
Yeah.
I just see. It depends on what artist it is. Okay. So let's say if you say Helene Flowers.
Okay.
Let's say if you say Helene Flowers. Haleem's story is extremely interesting, but his work is that when he tells you about the work and why did he come up with the way that he paints and the different inspirations that he has and the different techniques that he uses, and why he paints about specific topics. I really almost the work comes secondary to me sometimes. It's more of the building of the relationship. And then from that point, say for instance, Halim, when I first met him, he had like a lot of work. So I see that he can produce at a nice level. He's not one of those artists. I don't know what he's doing now so much, but I knew when I met him, he was able to produce a lot of quality work. And that's somebody that I don't have to worry about us picking through and coming up with a terrific show. Not just a one particular style of work that he had. He had multiple different styles of work. He had stuff that he had multimedia stuff he did on like newspapers and poems on different canvases and larger pieces, you know. So
is there a common theme that you see these artists that may have not shown anywhere before that you kind of see, you know, two totally different styles, but you see this common theme and you're like, I know this guy hasn't shown before, I know this young lady hasn't shown before, but I see this and this. Is there a common theme between them?
The common theme in it all is I wish that that I'm not an artist, but I wish the opportunities for those type of people were around when I was coming up.
Got you.
You know what I mean? Like I'm into fashion, so I would have loved for someone to say, if I could go into a local boutique and say, hey, can I be an intern with you guys? Or if I was coming with a fashion line, hey, I have a fashion line. Can I put like 2 of my pieces in here? And so I would say, yeah, sure. Put up, you know. And that's what I want. I want to see it done from the ground level, to see, you know, these artists of all disciplines go further and further if they choose to. Some artists choose to. They have tremendous talent, and they chose just to get this experience that they always wanted to show, and say that they showed at a gallery, which is fine too, because they're super talented. I have artists who have full-time jobs, mothers and fathers, you know, all types of stuff, and they're super talented. And the art, they did not want to make it a career for them, but they enjoy it and they're passionate about doing it. So, and that's the cool thing about DC, is that you have creatives, but you also have working creatives too. And you have creatives that work and they want to be creative because they always have been. So it's like this mixture of creativity here. So a lot of the artists I've worked with have full-time jobs.
What's the red flags? What's the artist that off the top you're just like, hold up, this is a red flag right here? That they may not know that it's even a red flag, because if somebody's going to watch this, that they may be doing the wrong thing to approach a gallery. What are some of the
The red flags are continuously DMing me unnecessary pieces of art. Like if you like just every day or every week you're sending me just a piece of art with no context. No context. You're just sending me pictures of art every week in my DM. I'm like, what? Okay, like what's going on? Like, don't do that. You know,
people do that for real?
Yeah. Yes. And you know, sometimes that I've given out my number, I get that too. Like,
what do you mean, like a text?
Yeah, they hit me like on Sunday at like 8 o'clock at night. I'm like, what? So those are red flags. Don't do that. Like just chill. Like, if you're a great artist or whatever it is you're trying to do, I appreciate you doing it. But yeah. Okay. So moving on. So another one is this is the kicker. This is the real crazy one. When you're at a gallery opening for another artist who's there, do not come up to me and talk about your artwork. Don't do that. That's that artist's time. That's not your time. You know what I'm saying? Don't say you. That's a 52 fake out. So you making like you coming to support this artist, but you really just coming to see me so you can get your stuff off. Who does that? Like, you know what I'm saying?
That happens?
Yes. You could just easily. This could all be.
What's your response when it happens?
I'm trying to get away. Like I'm like. Oh, what's up, man? Hey, I'm gonna talk to you. Oh, I'll be back in a second. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. I don't want to be rude, but it's like, dude, like I'm in a full scale of
showing somebody.
Of
Yeah.
not entertaining, but of working. You know,
Yeah.
working meaning I could be pouring drinks, or I could be talking to a collector that just came in, or just talking to someone who came in who's interested in the artwork, in the artist, or introducing someone to the artist. I don't really want to talk to you
About art.
your show. Not even your show. You don't even have a show yet.
Yeah.
About what it is that you want to show.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
wild.
You know how you can avoid that? It's very simple. You can DM me or email me, and we could set up a phone conversation, and then we could go from there. I can say, you know what? You can meet me at the gallery at such and such, or you could and we could have a meeting. That's very simple.
So to the outside looking in,
if you're local.
to the outside looking in, I'm the artist. We start vibing. We have this communication, and then you're like, okay, let's work together. And they're like, yeah, let's work together. How long does it take to put a show together? Because I think us as the audience, us as the collectors, and the people who are going to galleries, I think sometimes people just feel like, oh yeah, this is a show. Let me just pop up to a show. So give us, from an insider standpoint, you meet somebody, both of you guys, like, okay, this is the artist, this is the gallery. How long does it take from that point for a show to come out?
I say anywhere from 5 months to a year.
What's happening all that time though?
What's happened? Life, because it goes really quickly. Like, it's been times where, say for instance, I speaking to an artist. Say for instance, I speak to an artist in December. Like say next month, right? And they say, okay, I want to do a show in June.
Next June.
Next June, 2025, right? During that time, you working. You may got kids. You're producing. You're creating work. Some stuff may be going on with your girlfriend or your wife. Your friends, all types of stuff is going on during that period of time. So we have to prepare for all those things during that time. Now, another thing that's going on, we're doing the marketing for it. I don't necessarily like to start 5 months of marketing, but if you send me something, I'll gradually keep it going until we get up to the day of the show. Mostly on my stories. But during that time, I'm also telling people about the show, whether that be email or whether that be word of mouth. So if it's a particular artist that people are familiar with in the area, and I'm like, yo, you know, such and such is going to be there in June. Like, I'm gonna mark my calendar for that one.
You've done that to me before. Damn, I feel like, damn, that's crazy right now. I'm like, damn, he's done that before. Damn. Okay, continue, please, sir. The last time I saw you, you literally did that to me. He was like, yeah, it was a year ago I worked with this artist, right? We're gonna have a show around this time. We had this conversation.
Yeah, man. So, and that's really only for people who are my friends, you know what I mean? And you know, and collectors also. But normally it's for my friends first, because they're the ones who are like, oh, for real? Oh, okay. Because people are busy.
That happened to me, y'all.
Yeah. So during that time, it's marketing. It's getting the collection together.
How do you check in with? Do you have a timeline? Are you checking with them to be like, where we going with this?
Yeah. Normally it's every once a month on the phone. We just talk for maybe 25, 30 minutes, and I'm letting them know. I don't hang the work, or I don't necessarily curate anymore. It's another person at the gallery. His name is Matthew. Great.
Matthew's dope.
Yeah,
he's really dope.
He's an amazing curator. We've been working together for about 2 years now. He's not only a curator, he also hangs the art as well. And so he now has that role. I'm just the gallerist at this point, who handles a lot of the logistics and a lot of the scouting of the particular artist, you know.
Okay. So we getting close to it now. 6 months to a year. Yeah. You're checking in. Let's say it's like when do you start to ramp it up?
About a month into, I show a lot more stories. Because you're sending me different things. You're sending me you may have multiple versions of your flyers. You may be sending me just not random work, but pictures of your work, or you may be creating just little stuff like that. The build up, right? I don't want to show every piece in your collection, but I'll show stuff here and there and some random stuff, and maybe a picture of you or something like that, and just kind of break it down.
How many pieces should be in an ideal collection?
It depends on how big your artwork is. So if you're normally for me, the art that I have at the L Street location is fairly large most of the time. Those are pretty big pieces I normally have at L Street, at least I think so.
Yeah.
Normally it's about 12 pieces.
I wasn't trying to give his formula away, y'all. I know how many pieces that I normally go in there and see, but I was like, I want to hear from the sensei himself, the master, to tell us.
But this is all stuff that I learned from like the quote unquote traditional gallerists, the gallerists.
Got
So
you.
that's like a little bit of the foundation that you need, because I've had shows where I've had way too many pieces up. 20 pieces up, just all around everywhere. You're like, yo. But that could be the style of the artist too. But from a technical standpoint, it may not show as well as a show that has 12 pieces.
When you had the 20 pieces up, that was a bad show?
No, not at all. It just wasn't the style that I really wanted to do. You know what I mean? So I kind of was like, okay. Sometimes you got to step away in a sense. You're like, does it really look that bad? It don't look bad. It don't look bad at all. It looks fine. But it's like sometimes that's when you get that traditional stuck in that box situation where you know from the eye it doesn't look bad, but from a technical standpoint, from a collector standpoint, and the way it's going to show,
it's a lot.
It's a lot going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So sometimes I gotta tell them that, and then it'll be like 12 pieces, and then sometimes they'll have smaller pieces, and that's where you have like the gallery wall, where it's like kind of like that. They're in that grid type of system.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
So I actually really enjoy that grid type of system with the gallery pieces, with the smaller pieces of work. What's my guy from New York? Edwin.
Okay.
Edwin showed. Shout out to Edwin. Edwin showed me that formula of that grid system, and I've been using it ever since. And I really enjoy that when people have larger pieces, then they have those smaller pieces, and they kind of have like this gallery wall over there. So yeah, man.
So we've been doing this for a year, 6 months. We go in there. We're going through all the process. Now it's like the opening night for the reception, right?
Yeah.
What makes a good opening night? What makes a good show? What makes a good show?
A good show is not necessarily about the amount of people that come. A good show is about that is run like a well-oiled machine. It's like, okay, so let's say the show is on Friday. By Wednesday, everything is done. And the only thing I gotta go get are the wine and water from wherever I'm getting it from, and just put it on the table. I already got the price sheet. The labels are up. It's freshly painted. It's swept in there. Smells good. Looks good. We got our little music or whatever. We got a DJ, whatever. We got our artist statement, artist bio. We got all the stuff is in the local publications. Be More Arts, East City Arts, City Paper, Washingtonian. Everything's going really good. A couple people are reposting about it on the story. So it's got that traction. It's got that traction, and all through that Thursday, that Wednesday, Thursday, people keep mentioning me, mentioning the guy, mentioning the gallery, mentioning the artist, and slowly but surely the show starts at 8. Normally what happens is the show starts at 8. You may have a couple of family members coming around 6:30, 6:45. They may come 10, 15, 20 deep. All right. Now 7 o'clock, doors are opening up. You got the first group, 10, 15 people from, let's say, 7 o'clock to about 7:45. They're in there walking around. The artist may come up to me, or the artist may point me out and says, Amir, someone says, hey, I heard you're the owner of the gallery. Very nice work here, you know. We'd like to purchase that piece right over there, please. Oh. First hour, red dot. Now we rolling. Now it's a great day now. Now it's a great night. Now the energy that from the artist, from myself, it just takes over now. Now we're feeling good. The pressure's off.
Yeah,
the pressure's off now.
Off the first sale.
Yes, the pressure's off the first sale.
Why's the pressure off the first sale?
Because you just want to make that first sale.
Okay.
You just want to get it, especially on the open night when you have friends and family there. These may not necessarily be the collector that doesn't know anything about you yet. So you want to show that, before that collector comes in, or those collectors come in around, let's say they come in around 7:45, 8:15 or whatever, you already got a couple red dots. They're like, oh shit, can I
Yeah,
curse?
hell yeah,
Oh
curse.
shit, you know what I mean? They're like, oh shit, okay, am I missing something here? Why don't I know about this? And then they see the price. They're like, what?
That's it?
Well, sometimes the price could be like, damn.
Or yeah, you either go like, well, you're either like, damn, that's it, because 2 of them sold, or you like, man, the price is crazy, but 2 sold.
Exactly. So it's not it's about that that type of and it just makes it that much easier for the artist to start to connect and feel more confident about their work now. You know what I mean? And
So once the collectors start coming around, how do you turn it up to be like, okay, let's close some of these, let's make these things happen?
so there's a couple ways. You know, normally you've seen me a couple times. I'm behind the bar. I'm serving drinks. I wish I had somebody to do it, but hey, I'm the one-man band at the moment, so I'm serving drinks. And if a artist or a collector or someone comes up to me, I'll make my way around the table and I'll talk to them and whatever. But after a certain period of time, as we're winding down that 8:15, 8:30 mark, I'll do the little whatever way to get the crowd's attention. And I say, hey everybody, just want to welcome everybody to Us Homme DC, blah 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 blah. This is the artist such and such and such, and they'll do like a brief introduction, and then what I'll say is at the end, I'm like, you know, we definitely want you to support these local emerging artists, and you know the best way to support is to collect whatever my speech is. It's not really a speech. I don't say the same thing twice, so it's all organic, but it's a way to draw attention to not only you being in this space, looking at this amazing art, but it's also putting the onus back on the collection and the buying of the work. That's the only way that the artist can stay creating, is that you have to buy it. You know, they can make it in their house, but if you want to see it and you're saying, ooh, oh, it's so cool. Well, the only way they could do that is by your support, you know? So I try to let people know that. It normally works out well, but you know, after that first night, most of the artists are there for 2 weeks, you know, so we try. And another thing is I give the artists a key to the gallery, so they can make their own appointments.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't have to be there. Now, if you really need me to be there, I can. But 9 times out of 10, that artist can close their own deal.
So you're pretty much like, listen, I'm going to give this a double effort. I have my network of collectors. I have the people who are tapped in. Like a guy like me, I'm always going to try to come to a show no matter what,
Exactly.
So you kind of already have your people who are
serious
collectors, mid-tier collectors, may pop in once or twice a year, whatever the case. But you have your collectors.
About 15, 20 a year.
But at the same time, you're telling the artist, listen, this is a key, and you can work this yourself too. Yeah. I don't think that many places even have that type of
because
that's crazy.
I also know that the artist also has their network too. You know, they come in and what you asked me earlier about certain type of artists. Why do I choose certain type of artists? I also choose certain type because I see how they're supported also. And it has nothing to do with the amount of Instagram followers you have. It's the amount of, when I'm looking at your page and I'm seeing that one, it's a page full of art, and you're creating all the time, and you have this network of people that support you. I see that you've done a couple shows, or even if you haven't, but you just have this, I can just feel the energy that you have people that support you. And I'm like, okay, if they have people that support them, then one of the things that I've always learned, and I can like your work all I want to, but one of the things I've always learned, your first collectors are always your friends and family. That's gonna be your first ones. So if I'm able to show your friends, if I'm able to bring your friends and family and they see you at my gallery, a reputable gallery in the DC area, you're not putting up no trash, everything looks beautiful in there, it's professionally done, they're like, wow, Sam, you come a long way. I didn't even know okay, wow. I remember when you were just doing this in your basement 5 years ago. Now you're here. I got wine and cheese. It's right downtown. This work is beautiful. What, you got a price sheet? You know, so they're like, oh, so he is taking this seriously. You know, he really does care about this, and the work is beautiful. It deserves me to collect it. So that's how I do it.
Now I put it this way. You have ability to work with artists who are starting from the beginning. It almost feels like you're not like, hey, I'm walking through the whole journey of your whole career. You're like, listen, this is the starting point, and I'm okay with being at the starting point. But I've seen artists in your gallery that have gone on to do crazy things. I have seen that.
I know.
Right? How do you? What do those artists have? The artists like that you, if somebody's watching this right now, how do you let them know, or how do you say, man, this is how I see artists progress? What do those artists have in common that have gone from your gallery to do some crazy things? Because I've seen 3 or 4 of them.
The key thing is they just don't think my gallery is the end all and be all. A lot of times, a lot of the artists that, not a lot, not even a lot, some artists that have shown at my gallery, they think that's it, and they don't do anything else anymore. Everybody's just gonna come looking for them, and it's gonna be like, they're gonna be like Pablo Picasso next. It's like, no, all those people that you've talked about or that you've recognized that have gone on to do some really cool things, they've never stopped working. They've never gotten cocky or arrogant or think that now they're like like the best or whatever it is. They continue to work. They continue to craft their skills, hone their skills, meet different people, up their relationships, because when you're in certain kind of galleries, you're going to meet certain people that you've never met before, and they network really, really well, and they also listen and take advice well too. They could see from the last show. Sometimes I'll ask the artist, what could I have done differently? Because I'm not perfect, or I say, well, what do you think could have been better? So they'll learn from that. They might say, oh, I should have had, man, my prices should have been a little bit different, or I shouldn't have priced that, or I shouldn't have priced that low. I should have took that piece out and put that one, or I should, you know what I'm saying, just little things here and there that they make the adjustments to. So when they get picked up by another gallery or want to show for another gallery, they've already adjusted and made the necessary adjustments, so it makes it that much easier for the gallerist and the curator to say, okay, wait, Darren came with a game plan. Wow, only thing we got to do is go through this and go through that and see, change a couple of things up. It makes it a lot more easy for them to work with. No one wants to be holding the hand of a artist who says that they've shown places, but you still got to kind of walk them through as if they've never shown before, you know? So I think that they have been able to, a lot of the artists have been able to take advice. Their work ethic is great, and their professionalism is awesome, and they are extremely willing to learn too.
Talk about showing growth. Talk about how, I want you to talk about how you have to see these artists showing growth, because I've seen it. I've seen artists that showed at your show, and then I've seen them 2, 3, 4 years later, and the growth is crazy. Like, how important is that, as opposed to just being like, man, I showed here, so I'm just gonna keep on doing the same thing over and over and over again?
You know what? For those artists who do that, who don't change their style or show any growth, like you say, that could be their own, that could be an artist that particular collection was a collection that I enjoyed a lot, but I wasn't looking for them to show any growth. I just love that collection a lot. You know what I mean? And then we just did a great show together.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and it's been like that sometimes too. But some artists, the majority of them I see, they was doing one style last year, and now they're doing a style that you know it's their style, but it's different now.
Yeah.
A great person who I can tell you well, I'll say the first person I showed us that start showing growth, her name is Heather Jones.
She showed at your. I follow her.
Yeah.
She's dope. She showed at your gallery.
Yeah. At Elshi, we've shown work to the plastic surgeon's office and stuff. Like she crazy.
So you're doing this every month, man. How do you recharge? As a gallerist, how are you recharging? How are you stepping away from art and enjoying life and then refueling and coming back? Because you got to deal with artists DMing you apparently and message you 9 o'clock at night on Sunday.
And running up in the gallery.
Running up in the gallery, right? All up in the videos.
All up in the video.
Running up in the gallery, right?
Yeah.
How do you step away from this whole art thing for you to come back to be able to, because you put a lot of, I won't say put a lot of people on, but you create a platform for a lot of artists to show and even for them to come back after they're blown up to show again, and they already have the platform. You know, pretty much make it easy because they have the space available.
Exactly.
But how do you as the gallerist like refresh, move away from art to come back so you have fresh eyes to keep on bringing new people into your gallery system?
It just comes like, that's a good question. You know, when I get that space, that time to myself, walking around or just me and my fiance out kicking it. She's in the art world also, but just going to dinner. Like yesterday, we went to see Macbeth at the Kennedy Center, little opera, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something like that. I like car racing, so I like that GT car racing. I like soccer, you know, all that type of stuff. Looking at old rap videos, drinking wine, you know what I'm saying? A couple bottles here and there.
Old rap videos. What's your favorite hip hop album?
Oh, favorite hip hop album?
Yeah, give me two.
Well, I would probably say Life After Death, and I would go. It's a toss up between Life After Death and Reasonable Doubt and Illmatic. It's a toss up.
Yeah,
You know?
that's tough right there. That's tough right there.
You know what I mean? So yeah, but listening to pocket, but just trying to unwind, and just and connected with my friends. Mm-hmm. You know, they come over and we chill, and most of the time we don't even talk about like artists. Like we talk about the most randomest things, like, you know, something about what's going on with your boy. You know, I don't want to say his name, but
you know what's so crazy is you said people hit you up in the DM.
Yeah, they do.
But I hit you up in the DM, and that's how I got to meet you.
Yeah, because
so I'm gonna tell you the story.
Yeah, because you cool. That's why. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, he a cool dude, man. I was like,
so I'm gonna tell y'all the story. I'm gonna tell y'all the story, right? So I actually went to Home DC. This is years ago. I went to Home DC. I didn't even know you were the gallerist. I didn't even know you was the owner of the spot. I'm gonna be honest with you.
That's how I like to do it.
I know that's how you like to do it. And I went there. I saw a show. I can't even remember what show. I saw the show, and I left or whatever. I was like, it's a cool spot. I love the show, whatever the case. I was watching a podcast, and it's with Bruce. I forgot Bruce's last name. He had a podcast, a gentleman named Bruce. Shout out to Bruce. I forgot Bruce's last name.
Yeah, he's doing food stuff now.
Yeah.
up,
And
Bruce?
so he was doing a podcast at Home DC, and he interviewed Amir. And what was crazy was everything you were saying in the interview is what I normally say to people. Like your conversation mirrored mine so much. It was crazy. I was like, what this dude is saying is exactly what I say to people about art anyway. Talking about community, talking about how it's always good to highlight up and coming artists, you know, not to necessarily be so much in a box, to have this idea of what does this artist bring to the table that's different than everybody else. The idea of cities like DC, which are not New York, which are not LA, but they have the ability to harness this power with all these other creatives and then export their culture to somewhere else. Mm-hmm. So everything you were saying was exactly what I'm normally saying to other people in conversation. Mm-hmm. So I watched the whole podcast and I was like, and the internet is weird. I'm like, I'm just a message dude, man, whatever. So I messaged you. I forgot what I even said, but I just kind of introduced myself. And I said, hey, I just watched your podcast and it was pretty cool. And you kind of say a lot of things that I'm saying. Introduce myself. I'm Jonathan. I run ETHOS Decorum, blah, 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 right? Then you messaged me about, yeah, nice to meet you, cool, blah, blah, blah. And you was like, yo, this is my number. Let's link up. And I was like, okay, cool. Just let me know when to hit you up. You was like, hit me up now.
I was doing nothing.
Which is rare because the internet is funny. You message people on the internet. This is for all the creatives out there. You message people on the internet. It's kind of like, oh, did I overreach? Is this person cool? Are we playing this weird who's in the food chain, who's not in the food chain? So it was just weird that you messaged me back and was like, hit me up. And I didn't act funny. I hit you right back because you know how people are, like, hit me up like maybe 3 days later. I hit him back and we talked for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Never spoke to dude before a day in my life. We literally had a 45-minute conversation. Then he was like, hey, I'm always in the studio, certain hours and stuff like that. Come through. I'm like, okay, cool. I come through with Darren, who does his thing, does documentaries and movies. And we walked in, you're playing house music, and he says, what you know about that? And you was like, what you know about that? And instantly right there, I was like, this dude is cool. And we've been rocking ever since, man. But so that's our story, man. It's crazy, but and we always connect back and forth, talking about different artists and stuff like that. And tell us how important it is for artists to have a community that support them, or a following that support them.
First of all, man, it's been, I remember that was 2019.
Yeah.
I remember it's 2019, man. So I appreciate you always come out and support not just me, but the artists that are in the gallery, whether it was at O Street or whether it was at L Street. You know what I'm saying? You've never switched up and never, been funny style about support or just being a good friend. You know what I mean? So that means a lot. Especially in this day and age where meeting new people and having a genuine connection is really, really hard to find. But I'm really grateful and blessed that I'm able to connect with people such as yourself, who want to connect and be genuine and share the same interests, and also discuss really cool things and be a part of this unique creative community that we have in the DC area. So I just want to say, thank you for holding me down, man.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that,
you,
man.
So just wanted to say that. I forgot the damn question. How you say?
Nah, I was talking about how important it was for community. But no, I'm glad. No, you're gonna answer that. But I'm glad you said that, because a lot of times people have this weird thing of when they meet other people, they try to make it transactional.
Exactly.
Instantly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm meeting him. What am I getting out of this? You know what I'm saying? And this dude don't know you from anywhere, or I don't know you from anywhere. Why should this be a transaction? Every time you meet somebody, it does not have to be a transactional relationship.
Exactly.
You can just meet people, vibe with them. If y'all work together, it's cool. In fact, you can share resources and nothing is exchanged in your favor, and that's okay. And I think a lot of creatives today, in this day and age, don't understand that concept. We share a lot of information and resources together all the time. You'll hit me up and be like, hey, have you seen this, blah, blah, blah? And I hit you up and like, have you seen this?
Yeah.
And it's never like, well, have you seen this? What's in it for me? You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people are kind of missing that point. Like, don't approach people just because you want to get something out of it. You can approach people and just be like, hey, I like what you're doing, and I'm going to support you by showing up in some ways. I'm going to, repost what you're doing. Or if I see some resources or I see some information that applies to you that doesn't even help me, I'm going to send it your way.
Exactly.
I had to put that out there. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Yeah, but I was going back to the idea of community. Like, you've built a crazy community just by supporting one artist after another. How important is that to have a community that supports you, what you're doing, and in turn supporting the different artists? Because when I go to your shows, I see other artists at your shows.
Yeah, I think it's important because, like they say, you got to be the change you want to see. You know what I mean? So I can't talk about there's no artist here and constantly be complaining about this and that, which is fine. It's always fine to vent and stuff like that, and know what the the problem is before you can have somewhat of a way to have a solution for the problem. So I always just try to, I just wanted to create a place, like I said earlier, that I would always want to see as like a 16, 17, 18-year-old young man growing up here in the DC area to have a outlet, you know, to have an outlet where I can go to, even if I'm not purchasing art, like you said earlier, aspirational pieces that like every community deserves to have a art gallery, a creative space in a sense.
Yes, yeah.
You know, and it doesn't mean that it needs to be from these artists that are these highbrow artists, but it starts with your own personal community. And if I can't go to the place that I've been living in for almost 45 years of my life, if I can't go here and find some amazing artists, and I decide to skip over these artists, whether it's music, film, design, for whatever it is, and I say, oh, I'm going to go to, and no disrespect to any of these places, I'm going to go to California, LA to get some artists. You can do that later on once you put on for your city first, and you establish, I was looking at something the other day, and they were talking about Beanie Siegel. And I never heard of Beanie Siegel until like, it had to be like 98, 99 around that time. They were like, yo, Beanie Siegel was killing it for like 2 or 3 years in Philly before that. I was like, really? They were like, he was like the top person. So with that being said, it's like you have to create your own buzz and your own vibe in your own space first before you could go and make a change someplace else and not bring back those resources and pour into your immediate community. You know what I mean?
I think it's so key that people also see that, listen, I can work with what I have right now with what's in front of me. I think a lot of times it's almost like people want to go from A to Z. And I'm gonna be honest with you, that's what I love about Home DC, because you disarm the stereotype of a gallery being very intimidating. Most people won't say it, but I'm gonna say it anyway. When you walk into a gallery normally, people are intimidated. I'm not intimidated, but I know a lot of people feel like, oh, art is just for rich people, art is just for wealthy people. You know, you gotta be a billionaire to get art. And I tell people all the time, there's different types of art you can get. You can get a $50 print, you can get a $100 print, you can get a $500 painting, you can get a $5,000, and you guess what? You can get $1 million painting too, right? If you enjoy it, you enjoy it. But normally galleries are set up in a way where they're very intimidating to people. So spaces like yours are very important because, you know, you go there as you are, you're gonna see people there on opening night drinking wine, you can see the artists, you could talk to the artists. You talking about friends and family. You could talk to their friends and family. You're the gallerist and you're pouring the wine. 9 out of 10 times people don't even know you're the gallerist. So where else can you go that you can talk to the artists, you can see the artwork, talk to the friends, and talk to the gallerist? Except if you're an artist, don't pitch while you're at the show, right? But I think that's important. You know what I'm saying? Like, people need to stop having this internet. I'm talking to the internet right now. Stop having this idea that art is only for wealthy people and you don't belong in these spaces. You don't have to buy $1 million painting to go to a gallery. You can go to a gallery that has emerging artists. You can go to a museum and enjoy like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel Home DC does.
Thank you, man.
It's inviting for people.
You can't, and there's multiple ways of people wanting to buy art for whatever reason they want to buy it for. If they think of it as an investment piece, or they think of it as something that makes their home decor look better, or they think of it for, you know, just for something that reminds them and they got a special feeling. It's all different types. There's no correct way, or there's no correct kind of strategy or technique to buy art. You know what I mean? The first thing about buying art, and the first and the last thing about buying art, is buy what you love, buy what you like. You know, those are that's the main thing. If you start playing this game of blue chip artists, fine, no big deal. But just know that it's just like any other type of speculative asset. Speculative market. Excuse me. It can go up or down. Up or down. Bitcoin could be $100,000 today, and
Shout
5
out
years
to
from
Bitcoin.
now, it could be $5.
Yeah.
So you never know. You know what I mean? So
Hopefully not.
hopefully not. Hopefully not. Hopefully it goes to 1 million, which I believe it will. But still, in all, but you just don't ever know with any of these type of assets that are speculative. So therefore, you don't want to be caught with something that you despise when you look at it on your wall every day. And you're like, what the heck did I buy this? You want something to be like, I don't care if it's worth $5 anymore. I love this piece. It brought me so much joy, brings me so much joy and happiness, and I have so many great memories around it, and I just love it. So you want to just have those type of ideas.
As a gallerist, if I'm a young collector coming in, what's 2 things you would tell them that I should kind of like how to maneuver if I want to start a collection, so to speak?
See what you're drawn to. You know, get some reference. So if you say, you know, I know everyone knows about Basquiat, so we're going to start just to start there. And you know that Basquiat stuff is costing $30 million for the original, all that type of stuff. And you say that's the kind of style that you like. There are plenty of artists that do a similar style to Basquiat that you can actually discover and find. And I think that's one of the enjoying parts of art is finding those emerging artists with similar styles, but as they progress and as you see that their work, their styles and their subject matter may change, but you can see where you were on the ground floor of something where you say, wow, I've had this piece for 25 years, and his work has, you know, not just about how much it costs, but I could see the evolution of his or her style, and his process, and where it started and where it's going to. So I would just be on the lookout for supporting of emerging artists. In addition to that, like I said earlier, buy what you love, enjoy it, have fun with it, look at it, and be able to live with it too.
Yeah.
So,
do you think that too many artists are trying to use Basquiat style as a springboard for their career? I'm getting too controversial.
I think a lot of it is based off of, like you say, the internet, pop. What's it called? Pop media. What's it called?
Pop art.
Pop art in the media. Like if you hear someone like a Jay-Z talk about it, and you're not familiar with anything in regards to art, you keep hearing Basquiat, and now Basquiat sold for $100 million, and you go look at Basquiat's artwork, you're like, that's sold for $100, and you don't know the art history behind it, and you don't know the context behind it, you don't know the story behind it. You just look at the price and the person who said it, then you're going to be a little bit confused as to why this should interest you, why you should, you know, appreciate it, and what makes that particular style and what he was doing special for that moment, you know, and why that's a part of art history. So I think a lot of artists now, they don't want to do that research. They just say, I can just scribble on the thing. See, I can just scribble and see, that's a Basquiat. See, so it looks easy, and if you don't have the context behind it, you're going to find yourself copying someone's style that you should not be copying, because that has nothing to really do with your overall style or what it is that you want to represent. So I just think they're not really doing their research on a lot of the artists and not really getting the proper context. You know what I mean?
Where do you see Home DC 5 years from now?
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask the tough questions, man. Yeah.
Tough
Where
questions.
do we see Home? I'm gonna say something while you're thinking about that. I saw Home DC at one location. I saw Home DC at 2 locations. Then I saw Home DC at 3 locations. And we're talking about artists progressing. I saw a gallery that just from the time I've seen Home DC, I've seen this gallery keep on progressing.
Thank you, man.
So this is from the inside, even though we cool,
Yeah.
but this is from the inside, from the outside looking in.
Right.
So where do you see Home DC? Because you have this big view of the world. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Yep.
you show local artists that's DC area
Yep.
based, but you also deal with international artists.
Exactly.
And I've seen you do very unique things with your space that most galleries will never do. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? For you to be like, listen, I have an idea for this unique pop-up. You could do this. That's like
Right.
out the box, right?
Right.
So where do you see Home DC like 5 years?
I see Home DC, like you say, expanding as far as working with and going to and bringing international artists over to the DMV area, and not just let's say I want to go say Paris. I don't want to get art from Paris. I want to get art from a smaller place in France, like Marseille, Nice. Bring those artists over here. I'll take some artists over there, or I could go over there, get some of their artists and put on a show over there for them, because they probably don't get it really loved, because the people see them all the time. They're like, oh, we see his artwork, but I want to bring something fresh over there. But I would just want to find the space, and then I would have a local person do all the stuff that I curate the show. Who's the hottest? Who's this? Who's the hottest with the music? Who's the hottest with the clothes? Who got the dope furniture? Let's put it all together. 2-week pop-up. Boom. Go crazy.
Oh yeah, I want to see a Home DC. I want to see a Home Paris. That's
yeah, no,
dope.
but it wouldn't be in Paris. It would be like the off, because the way I think about Home is people don't consider DC the fashion, anything about fashion. Well, last time that I checked, everybody's wearing New Balance. So we've been wearing them for a while now.
You gonna start the whole New Balance conversation?
I mean, but so what up? So let me just get better. So what
We started New Balance.
Yeah. So okay. So what I'm trying to say is, it's like somebody would say, well, New York's the fashion capital, but you say, well, DC has some stuff going on. You never been to DC before? So that's what I'm saying. Paris gets all the shine, but someplace else in France probably got some dope stuff too. But they just don't get all the shine. So I want to give the shine to the people who are not really under, but don't get the proper love that they get, and they do create a lot of dope stuff. So I want to pretty much bring either bring artists from over there to over here, bring artists from over here to over there, or go over there and create too. And just keep looking for unique opportunities and locations. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, if I find somebody did something really cool in DC a couple of years ago, they turned a old laundromat into a art pop-up. That was super cool. Whoever did that was really cool. So that's what I would like to do.
Was it Diet Start Monday?
It was. I don't know.
I remember. But yeah, there was. I remember what you're talking about.
Whoever did that was really cool. So I always like finding unusual spaces that aren't traditional looking gallery spaces, and being able to work with the space. Gotcha. I love being able to not fight the space or control the space, but work with the space.
Gotcha.
And so as long as I keep finding these crazy spaces, I'll continue to expand and keep it moving, man.
So there we have it, man. There we have it. That's Amir from Home DC, one of the dopest galleries you will find.
Thank you.
And I would say this: if you are in a city that doesn't have this big gallery structure, start one yourself. Right? Get emerging artists, give people the shot, build your own community, and the people will come. So once again, we have another episode of Sessions. Check us out. Until the next time.
Peace.